Hey, public opinion aficionados, it's Mark Mitchell, head pollster of Rasmussen Reports, and really happy to join Gene Valentino at the Grassroots Truthcast today. I support his podcast. Go check it out and subscribe while you're there.
Hi, friends. Gene Valentino. We've got to get on this herpes virus and attack it at its source. If you're tired of these cold sore breakouts caused by the herpes virus, you've got to discover this product I'm on board with. It's called Herplex, the natural homeopathic remedy that works on your body's defenses. Visit buyherplex.com/Gene. Do it today and save 25% on your first order by using the discount code GENE25. Throw that code in there and you got yourself a discount. Let's conquer herpes and cold sores together.
Yeah, Gene is with us. Gene Valentino, the Velvet Hammer, our very good friend from Pensacola, Florida. We had to, Ted, start this segment out with a little, rivalry there between Florida and Mississippi. We are big Ole Miss fans here. We love Lane Kiffin. We love what's going on with the program. Of course, Ole Miss is 9-1. They're looking for 10-1. They are playing Florida this weekend at home. And of course, Gene is a homer. He loves his home teams in Florida, both Florida State, which took a shellacking, by the way, and Florida. And you're a little closer to Florida State, Gene, but you like both of those teams. They're a part of your life there in Florida. That's what you hear about. That's what you talk about. So I thought we would just take a little wager here for lunch and see exactly what you think about this. So we've got Florida at Ole Miss. Ole Miss minus 16.5. What say you?
Well, I'd like to get behind you with Ole Miss, but I must say that I'm going to have to go with my Gators here in Florida. It's not clear. I think it's going to be a challenge, maybe 5 to 10 point range, but the Gators by just a few points. Although, I just went to the Clemson game up in Clemson, South Carolina last week, and Florida State played Clemson and got a shellacking. But they did play Ole Miss, I believe, a few weeks ago. I'm on the fence. I think Ole Miss has a good shot with a strong record, but thus far. But you never know. These Gators come out of nowhere here in Florida.
Yeah, you never know. And Ted, we say that all the time. You just don't know. And last week we lost by half a point on Alabama, and also what was the other game we lost, Ted?
I'm trying to remember. It was by half point too. Might have been Clemson.
Both of them were half-point games that we lost because that's the way the bookies do it, and they do that on purpose so that they can beat you by half a point. But in any case, okay, so Gene's got Florida. We've got Ole Miss, Ted, and we will see how that turns out. This could be a free lunch, or I might have to borrow some money to buy Gene's lunch.
I got a feeling
it's expensive.
Ted, I got the sense that I'm going to be owing the two of you lunch, but we're good. We're going to see what happens.
Okay. All right. So moving right along to some of the subjects of the day. Gene, a few years ago, I don't remember exactly how long ago it was. It may have been a year or so ago. You and I talked about the complete meltdown. You described it, the complete meltdown of the Democrat Party. Now, one of the things I will say is that Democrats are not used to losing the public battle when they attack and pick a fight with Republicans. They are used to the media coming back with them. They're used to everybody just coming to their side, and it's the Republicans. It's those damn Republicans that are causing the problems. But that didn't happen this time. They are reeling. They are melting down. They are falling apart. Their leadership is falling apart. And I just thought that'd be a great way to start our show today and discuss what's happening with the Democrat Party. What say you?
I'm going to write a book someday entitled The Art of Bad Behavior. There's a civility in the Republican Party that distinguishes itself from the Democrat Party antics. Full stop right there. All other issues of the morning aside, the Republicans come off decent and not without their own level of issues and problems, admittedly. But how about this? I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. Chuck Schumer, he made those comments over a year ago at a rally outside the Supreme Court of the United States while major abortion rights case was being heard. Chuck Schumer, the head of the Senate at the time, and prior to that, the head of the Democrats in the Senate, Senate leader. And is this the behavior of a threatening posture against two Supreme Court justices, which is now transcending to everybody listening and watching as normal behavior? Republicans, I don't think, ever threatened people to this degree. Leadership starts at the top, and it's finally caught up to Chuck Schumer, a guy who never had a civilian job, who never worked an 8-hour minimum per day hard labor job, who never took care of business entrepreneurship and helped inspire other companies to get off the ground, unless some of that cash went into his pocket first. And now, even amongst his own rank and file, there's a splintering going on within the Democrat Party, and he is not so subtly being pushed out the back door. He, Nancy Pelosi, Jerry Nadler, Maxine Waters should be underway. Adam Schiff, if he survived, and Eric Swalwell, if they survive the charges against them, are all going to be relics of the past. And it's overdue and about time. And it's why I ran for Congress less than a year ago and took an oath that if I was elected, I would support the notion of term limits to limit the obsessive control that these political figures acquire at the expense of you and me and lose touch with you and me. Our nation will survive only if we stand up to this insanity. On the three major stories, Michael, just to throw it out there, then I'll come back to talk about whatever you want. Operation Southern Spear, this military action underway right now with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth going against the narco-terrorism. The story making the news today, trying to link Donald Trump to the Epstein case. Watch that backfire. I call it the double dare deflection. You think you're going to drag Trump into some wrongdoing on Epstein. His nose is clean. Trump's nose is clean on that in more ways than one. And he's now going to have the pleasure of watching the revelations of the Epstein files basically show his innocence. And frankly, it doubles down on what has been done wrong. And the third issue that we won't get to probably is the economic fallout from the government shutdown. What a disgrace, back to bad behavior. What a disgrace to this nation to watch one political party intentionally shut down government to promote their own, as leverage, they call it, leverage to promote their own position that they want to garner, something they would not tolerate when Joe Biden was president, something they would not tolerate when Chuck Schumer was leader in the Democrat Party of the Senate. They are so hypocritical and are now hurting this nation. The economy, the gross national product, falling by billions of dollars in just the last 45 days because of the antics, the ripple effect in the economy due not only to the shutdown of the airline industry, but to the ripple effect that occurs through other industries because of the airline industry. Now, Michael, we have seen in plain view, the only word I have is stupidity. If we, the American citizens, don't put in a new regime that limits terms in office, a constitutional amendment that puts in a balanced budget, then we, the voter, are the stupid ones to have allowed this mentality to continue any further. When it's right under your nose in plain view, no excuse. Let's fix it now.
You know, you mentioned the term limits, and there is a group out there, you and I have discussed this before, called Convention of the States. And I encourage people to take a look at conventionofstates.com, or maybe it's .org. You'll find it if you Google it. And this organization, that's one of the things that they are trying to do, put together a convention which is allowed by the Constitution, that the states get together and decide a new amendment to the Constitution, and they do it without Washington involved. This is something that could happen if enough people get behind it and push this. And what's happened about that? Let's just talk about that for a second. What's happened with a convention of the states in the past? Well, when you look at previous attempts to make a convention to change the Constitution, guess what? Congress got on the ball and decided they would do it themselves so that they could control the language and the law. They wanted to make sure that they were in charge. So if they don't get it together and allow for a convention to happen, they may push these lifelong politicians in Washington to actually do something about term limits. That's a very important thing. And the other thing is a balanced budget, because frankly, the Democrats wanted $1.5 trillion to be added back to the budget, and we're already $38 trillion in debt. They don't care about you. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about your grandkids. That's where we're headed with the Democrat, socialist, Marxist, communist mindset in Washington.
Well, we said also a few times before, sometimes things have to get a little worse before they get better. And that's what we're witnessing. To think a communist is now mayor of the city of New York City nauseates the hell out of me. And threats of other such fascist mentalities, which are not Republicans, but are true socialists or communists, making their way in other blue cities, sanctuary cities throughout the nation, as far west as Seattle. You know, there's something else you could throw into the pot, and that's a constitutional amendment in the same regard that limits Chuck Schumer's antics of stacking the Supreme Court. We had a guest on Grassroots Truthcast, my podcast, a few months ago, Roman Buehler, runs a 501c4 out of Washington, D.C., and he calls it Stop at 9. It's a Stop at 9 group, meaning only keep it at 9, keep 9. Keep the 9 Supreme Court justices. Don't go to 12 or any higher number. 9's enough, and put it into law. Why? Because I don't trust politicians. Look what they just nominated. What was her name? Ketanji Jackson, who doesn't know the difference between a man and a woman? And you're going to tell me that we need more Supreme Court justices? Hell no. I don't need idiots coming along and throwing grenades into a structure that's about to reach 250 years of age next year, and we need to protect that for another 250 years.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And of course, you know, that's one of the things that if Democrats get back in charge, the first thing they will do is kill the 60-vote majority that you have to have, the filibuster, they call it. They'll kill that. Then they'll add Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. as states. And then on top of that, they're going to pack the Supreme Court. We're out of time, unfortunately.
Out of time?
Already. It goes by
it's your fault. You've been doing all the talking.
I talked just a little bit. But anyway, you are the guest, and we do appreciate what you have to say. Thank you, Gene, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hi, friends. Gene Valentino. We've got to get on this herpes virus and attack it at its source. If you're tired of these cold sore breakouts caused by the herpes virus, you've got to discover this product I'm on board with. It's called Herplex, the natural homeopathic remedy that works on your body's defenses. Visit buyherplex.com/Gene. Do it today and save 25% on your first order by using the discount code GENE25. Throw that code in there and you got yourself a discount. Let's conquer herpes and cold sores together.